Welcome in, everybody. Simone Eli, Gerhard Mathangani joining you as we talk week 2 of the high school football season in the books. Just got off the air for fifth quarter. Joining you now here for fifth quarter Extra G, as we often talk about when it comes to the high school football season, or really any football season. Obviously, the Auburn Tigers with college just started the season with a big win. And when it comes to high school football, same rule applies here, right? So either week 1, you open things up and you win or lose, and you try to adjust accordingly going into week 2. And for a lot of teams, you open the season in week 2, or what the state would call week 1 right now. A little bit confusing, but that's where we're at. Welcome in, guys.
Yeah, if you're listening to the state, if you see some of the state's website, they'll all say week 0. We count it as week 1. A lot of teams now are playing week 1. It used to be a situation where not a lot of teams play week 1, but now the majority of the state kind of plays in that week 1. And so depending on who you are, where you are, week 1, week 2, we call this week 2. But you're right.
Yep.
Your overarching part is right. The teams make the biggest improvements, those biggest jumps from week 1 to week 2, because you're no longer playing against just yourself. You have an opponent that's trying to tackle you and trying to hit you, and
live action.
It's live action and ready to go. So
yeah,
it's been good.
And for some teams, in region play this week, guys. So we're going to all 6A teams, as we know it's a huge region. So 6A teams playing in region, 8 of them, and including our game of the week. G, let's kick things off there on the hill in Spanish Fort, where you were.
Yeah, this is a really interesting matchup here in Class 6A Region 1 between two teams that went to overtime last year. Simone, this was a 24-21 overtime game just a year ago. And keep in mind that Spanish Fort, they made the playoffs last year as the number 2 seed. Meanwhile, Theodore did not make the playoffs. They were 4-4, and Spanish Fort won 5 games, and obviously the number 4 team won 5 games, so you can do the math on that. So this is really, in my opinion, a really interesting situation here with these two schools going at it. And early on, it was the defense for Spanish Fort that really got it done here for the guys, as Dwayne Hankins comes in with the interception here. You see here is Harris. Hankins, but Harris goes up, gets the pick, and the touchdown on the other end. And Coach Chase Smith's bunch looking really good early on in this one.
Yep.
A really interesting matchup here between, once again, two pride programs that play really well on defense. Is kind of fitting that it's a defensive score.
Great crowd, too.
Absolutely, yeah. Great environment, great crowd there for both squads. And then this is J.J. Bush. He plays defense. He's going to play defense in the SEC. He's going to Arkansas, but here comes up with a huge play on offense, takes the direct snap into the end zone, and we have a tie ball game up at 7-7. Late stages here of the first quarter. Aiden Schamberger with the handoff to our buddy Juju Bonner. And Bonner somehow, some way breaks loose here and goes deep into Theodore territory. Sets up a really nice play here on second down, or in the second quarter for Spanish Fort, as Aiden Schamberger, who we talked about in the pregame with Coach Smith, goes up top and he hits Willie McCovery for the touchdown. It's a go-ahead score. But Simone, Theodore, they never went away. They didn't last year. They didn't this year. Last week, of course, they lost to Baker, gave up 42 points in that game, but the defense really stepped up today. This is Kendrick Abel with the tough run, sets up Christian Overton with the touchdown, and Theodore goes on to get the win, 28-17. Not only redemption, but a huge, huge region win and the first win of the season for the Bobcats.
Yeah, and it's huge. I mean, because Steve Mask, I think, after last season, missing the playoffs there at Theodore, they've had a lot of string of success. Obviously, Coach Mask has won a lot of state championships, of course, as we know what he's done at St. Paul's. And so for him to come in and go on the road, the Hill Spanish Fort, get a rivalry, it was kind of what that game has kind of become. There's a region, it was our game of the week. And to get that win and get it, I mean, handedly. I mean, 28-17, I wasn't there for it, but that's a pretty strong score there, no question.
No, and I agree with that. And also, like I said on the show, we said it live, the fact that people think it's way too early to be thinking playoff situations and playoff scenarios.
Not in that region, it ain't.
No, it is not. These razor thin margins, especially in this region. This game can play a huge role as we look back a little bit later on. Could it be a tiebreaker game? Could it be a game that separates your 2 seed versus your 3 seed? Are you going at home? Are you staying? Like, are you going on the road? Are you staying at home? There's so many matchups that can happen, and obviously we don't want to look too far down the road, but this is a big response from Theodore after last week, really getting a nice win over a really good Spanish 14.
Yeah, it definitely is. We're going to head over to Lipscomb Stadium. We're going to stay in region play there in 6A, guys. As we know, very often we get some of the best games when it comes to region gaming games and also rivalry games, early in the season for sure. We're going to get some highlights going with the Yellow Jackets of McGill-Tulane hosting Murphy there at Lipscomb Stadium. And early on, it's Blaine Beret airing it out and right into the bread basket. On this one is Caden Thrash on the receiving end. 57-yard bomb to open up the scoring. As you know, the student section at McGill, no jokes about it for sure. It's 7-0 early in the game. A little bit later, the defense going to help out the offense here. Set the offense up in perfect field position. William Jackson up the gut into the end zone. Makes it 21-0 for Coach Faulkner's group. Then in the second quarter, why not Beret again? Linking back up with Thrash. You might have to do a little replay on this one because look at that.
This was
wow,
nice.
That was unbelievably impressive there. Not only the awareness, of course, for obviously the touchdown, but where his feet are as well. Check this out. Check out Thrash on the catch here. Great snag. Stays in bounds here as well. Gets down. And, man, all I'm saying is that for the 11th, count them, 11th straight season, and we saw the Battle for the Cannon video. I'll get that up in just a minute.
Yeah.
But for the 11th straight season, it's orange. And that at some point, it's not really about this is no disrespect to Murphy, but the rivalry, you start to really wonder, man, that was our game of the week every single year. But right now, it's really a one-sided rivalry as they get it done 50-0. They roll.
It's all one-sided right now for McGill-Tulane, and you expect Murphy to at some point come back, and they're right now in the infancy stages of Coach Sherman Williams getting this program back together. And there's some signs of life here and there, but this has been all one way. This has been all Yellow Jackets over the last, as you said, more than a decade. And Coach David Faulkner and company, they obviously this past week, losing to Daphne the way they did. 1-point game. You saw Blaine Beret last week had a touchdown run. LaDarian Miller had a touchdown run. The team looked really solid. To not come away with the win, they had a bad taste in their mouth going into today's game. And they wanted to take it out on their rivals. And like you said this beautifully. You get to check off a few boxes because not only do you get to a region game, but you also get to beat your rivals and you beat them handily. And then you get the cannon as well. So you fill up all the traditions. You get that sour taste out of your mouth. You're back in your good graces as far as the way you want to run this offense. And I'll tell you what, Blaine Beret last week with his arm, and then this past week, last week with his leg, this past week with his arm, he looks really good. I know Andrew Murchison was really solid last year, but it looks like Blaine Beret's really stepped in and filled in really nicely for this offense.
No question. Let's keep things there in 6A. So as we know, Theodore gets the big win over Spanish Fort in 6A, and McGill gets the big win over Murphy. And if you're just tuning in, by the way, on Facebook, appreciate everyone tuning in. Tammy Bass, as always, there in Orange Beach. We will talk about the Makos, a big win as they went to Citronelle. We'll have that one in a moment. Folks from Pensacola, Drew Donaldson, appreciate you. Rodney Williamson, always checking in. So, guys, thank you so much. Be sure to join the conversation there on Facebook for sure.
We also got Kenny from
Las Vegas. He's got some money on some games, man. He's got some, I don't know what the line is. Let's check out what the line is for Blunt and Saraland. Probably can tell you what that one's going to be, G. Go ahead.
But Saraland back on the road once again here, going to Blunt. Of course, last week got a really nice win over Jackson, the #1 team in Class 4A. Good shot there of head coach Jeff Kelly and of Coach for Blunt and Ray Nelson. And I'll tell you what, I've been really excited to watch Jamison Roberts play this season, taking over for KJ Lacey, who was a 3-year starter. And Roberts has obviously waited his turn. He fielded in really nicely last year in 7 games, and he did it with his arms and his legs as well. Ran for the first touchdown, then threw it to Deshaun Spencer, and the Duke commit comes down with a touchdown there. So Roberts showing all of the weaponry early on. But then they go to Antonio, better known as P.J. Brown, and Brown gets into the end zone for the first of his 2 first-half touchdowns. Spartans up 19-0 early. This is a play that I'm so glad we're getting on now. I didn't get to get it on the show just because of our time constraints, but a great interception here by Pugh. I'll get Pugh's first name, but this is a huge play here. And we talk a lot about Coach Jeff Kelly and their offense, but defensively, this is a really good team as well. And they set up their offense in great field position as P.J. Brown once again goes into the end zone for the touchdown. And this team from Saraland, ranked #3, got a big win last week. I'm telling you, I think they're right on the doorstep once again. Adonai Pugh was the guy that with the interception early on. And Blunt with a few plays early, as you see here, got an interception, but just too much Saraland in this one. 46-0 your final score there as Matty T. Blunt goes down. Saraland now 2-0, but not just 2-0, but 2-0 with 2 road games as well. So another Spartan faithful, they're ready to see their team back at home. But as of right now, They went on the road to 2 different places and got a big win. One against a 4A team, one against a very athletic Class 6A team, and once again got another region win as well. So Coach Jeff Kelly and company, their eyes have been on the prize. We ask them all the time, how much does last year and losing at a championship game, the way that they did to Parker, and the year before that, the way that they lost to Clay Chalkfield, does it dampen their spirits at all? And no, they are just, hey, we stack days. We're just one day at a time. We just plug and we keep going, and we plug and we play. They've had to replace lots of different players over the years. Of course, Ryan Williams and Santamic Williams and KJ Lacey, of course. But these guys, as you see, Pugh has stepped right in there. We saw Deshaun Spencer, Antonio Brown, Jamison Roberts. This team just reloads every year, and they're doing it once again.
Yeah, they definitely do. And I mean, that's the one thing that with Jeff Kelly. He's always going to have his guys ready. He's never going to overlook any opponent. I think he posted on social media the other day, he was like, region plays coming up. It doesn't matter who it is. Yeah. This guy's going to take the game very, very seriously, guys. So if you're just tuning in, this is Fifth Quarter Extra. Simone Eli, Gerhard Mathangani joining you as we are chatting through 6A Region 1. So far, we have Spanish Fort falls to Theodore in our game of the week. Gee, a great atmosphere out there on the hill in Spanish Fort. McGill-Tulin beats Murphy in the battle for the cannon, and Saraland gets the win over Blunt. Now, let's head over to E.E. Delaney Stadium. That's where we've got St. Paul's welcoming in Baldwin County, and St. Paul's, listen, has a lot of expectations, high expectations there from head coach Ham Barnett. And early on, this is not what you want to see, a little early game jitters here. Tigers are going to open up the scoring after a bit of a mistake here on the punt return. Noah Bauer is going to come up with the ball, and then it's going to be Jeffrey Moore on the carry, gets the edge, and a race to the pylon there to make it 7-0. They open the scoring. However, Tigers want to open the scoring. It was the Saints that finished the scoring because there's your final, obviously, 48-17. And that right there, Tyshawn Sellers said, hello, I'm going to go run through this entire defense. That's exactly what he did. Unbelievable ground game there once again, as it often is there, G, for this St. Paul's team. It feels like every single year they have a new weapon, a new guy just doing incredible things there on the ground for St. Paul's.
Yeah, you think about just 7 days ago, it was all Anthony Frazier and Tank Jones who ended up winning our Zaxby's Player of the Week last week.
Yep.
And this year they can go to different guys.
Look at this guy take off. Look at this guy take off right here. Here we go.
And watch him go. And honestly, Simone, I got something I got to tell. I got to take here, and not really even a take. It's just an observation.
I want the take.
This might be. Oh no!
You want to go back? You want to go back? Let me go back to it. Hold on. Let me go back to it. Hold on.
Playing the video that way.
Listen, I'm driving the show here. P. Walsh.
That way you can digest it.
Okay, here we go.
That way you can digest it. Well, my take is, and I just want you to see it in real time. This might be my favorite uniform combo of all the local teams that we cover. The red on red with the red helmets. It's I have a lot of. I mean,
I'm not a big red fan myself, though I'm wearing red right now, but. That's beside the point.
But no, I like the uniform combination. I didn't have a football take on that way. I just like the uni combination there for the guys. But just think about the way that back-to-back weeks, such an emotional win last week. They go to UMS, go beat their arch rivals in overtime, and then Coach Ham Barnett has to settle his guys back down. And it's different from both wins and losses. But sometimes I think it might be harder from wins to get your guys head out of the clouds and say, hey, let's come back down to earth.
No doubt.
We got region
Get everybody
play,
recentered. Yep.
And let's go back at it. Yep. And his guys were able to do so and got a big win.
Yep. If you're just tuning in, we got some questions. MGM score. That was a close one. We're going to get that game in just a minute. MGM actually got the victory. 22-19 was the final in Gulf Shores. That one went down to the wire. We'll have those highlights in just a moment. But we just went through 6A. Theodore wins it. McGill gets a big victory. Saraland over Blunt, and St. Paul's over Baldwin County. So let's head over to Baker and Alma Bryant, G, as these two teams open up region play here.
Yeah, interesting situation for Alma Bryant because they played a Jamboree game a couple of weeks ago. They were off last week, and they're back on the field this week for their first game of the season. Meanwhile, Baker last week dropped 42 points on a really good Theodore team, as you just saw, who picked up a big win today at Spanish Fort. But it's Baker's offense once again coming out to play. And we have talked about this with Baker going all the way back to our 33 teams and 33 days special this past year. Their offense has been solid with Tate Graham getting the early touchdown there on 4th down and short. Jacoby Crandall getting the big play for Coach Bart Sessions and company. But this offense for Baker has just been rolling. And it's so funny. We talked about this a little bit last year. Last year with Juan Johnson, he was the offensive guy. But the strength of last year's team was really the defense. And the defense really, I mean, I think they allowed like 19 points a game or maybe less than that. And this year, with the defensive guy, because Eric Scott led the defense last year, the strength of the team is really the offense going into this season, led by Tate Graham. And so
he's a baller. We knew he would be too.
Yeah, he would be. And last year, remember, he did not go through the spring because he was playing baseball. One of the best baseball players for Baker going into the season. This past year, he went through summer training or went through spring training and summer. And you could just tell when coaches talk about reps, when coaches talk about just continuity and being able to get on the field and practice and get on the same page with your guys. This is the result of that. Because now you have perfect timing with your guys, and we're seeing Baker's offense take that next step, that next leap. I know it's only 2 games, and I don't want to get crazy here, but this could be one of the better offenses in the entire state just because they've had so much time with one another over the last 2 years.
I don't think that's crazy at all. I think this is a team that has wanted to take it to the next level. I think Juan Johnson started that last year. Obviously, he went on and is now the head coach of James Clemens. Eric Scott comes into a role that he's done before. I mean, he knows what it's like to coach a high-level, octane, high football, high classification in Class 7A. And so this is a guy who's been around the block for a minute. And so I would not be surprised if Baker is the team to beat in 7A. They were last year. I mean, even though MGM won the region, Baker was the team to beat. I mean, they were the team to beat in the region. So no question about it.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, you don't want to look too far down the road, but man, that Battle of West Mobile.
It's okay. That's what we get paid for. Just be doing that. So I am looking forward to that.
Such a fun
It always is. It always is. Let's head to the beach. Why don't we? Gulf Shores welcoming in MGM, 7A MGM, but we know Gulf Shores has got some ballers as well. So expecting this one to be good, and it was. So here I'm gonna pull up Judd Harris, guys. Judd Harris airing it out early on, finding his receiver here, pulling up the highlight script. Judd Harris to Carter Davis. We'll run that one back here, make sure he gets his proper love for sure.
And Davis has been a key playmaker for Coach Mark Hudspeth and company for a couple of years now.
Yeah, he really has. MGM obviously goes back the other direction. Shondell Harris gets into the end zone there on the ground, hand off by Jeremy Manhennett. And then Manhennett is going to go in the air in a beautiful ball as he sends a missile to DJ Broughton across the middle there. And this one goes down to the wire, G. Gulf Shores going to fall. MGM gets the win down to the wire in this game, 22-19 the final score, and what a game it was, man.
Yeah, and for that Gulf Shores defense, I mean, give them a lot of credit to hold a really high-octane MGM offense to just 22 points, and so I think this Gulf Shores defense will be improved going into this year, obviously playing up in classification, playing a Class 7A team. I think it really helps out both squads. Gulf Shores just a couple of years removed from their undefeated season in a state championship. But you mentioned Jeremy Manhennett. He's really been a blessing for Coach Zach Golson and company because it allows last year's quarterback and Shondell Harris to really play a little bit of everything. Play a little receiver. He can play a little running back. He plays on defense, and that's where he will shine at the next level.
He's just a stud.
As a defensive back. But having Jeremy as your true quarterback really lets you use Shondell Harris as more of a chess piece because he's so vulnerable. And even if he's a decoy somewhere, lined up outside, you open up things in the middle. So Coach Zach Golson and company can get really creative with their offense. And they did so today, and you saw the way that they were able to come away with the win. But shout out to Gulf Shores defense because that is a really, really tough team. And I think that speaks well for Gulf Shores as they go into region play next week.
Yep, totally agree. We're going to stay with a 7A school, at least the home team in this one, as Faith Academy went on the road to play Fairhope, G. Faith obviously looking to kind of get the pieces together, and Fairhope wanting to get back into the top of region play in 7A, a good opportunity for them to work some things out after the loss in week 1.
Yeah, last week, obviously, the offense, they turned the ball over 4 times in that loss to Spanish Fort. They want to get back on track, and they do so early on. Last week, keep in mind, it was raining all night long over there in Spanish Fort. Trey Garner finds Byron Martin for that touchdown. And then a big play here on special teams. You can go to WKRG.com. This is one of our Play of the Week nominees. This is Lance Wade, who picks up the blocked field goal attempt, takes it into the end zone for the
There's
touchdown.
a couple flags on the end of that one.
Yeah,
horse collar? What was that?
The horse collar there at the very end there, and the push-ups galore for the Pirate faithful. I'll tell you what, though, Gaines Sullivan, he's the new coach at Faith Academy, but he's very familiar with the program. He was a longtime offensive coordinator for the Hall of Fame head coach, Jack French. He's now back to lead this team, and I think that this team will put together the pieces as this season rolls along. I will not be a bit surprised if this Faith Academy team is not very, very competitive towards the end of the season. Now, they didn't have the kind of year they wanted to last year, but don't judge any one result on the way that this team will play. Fairhope's a really good football team, and I know Fairhope ended up winning it big. The last score we had was 41-6. I'll chase the final score here in this one, but It was 41-6. I'm looking here at the state website. Our good friend Ron Ingram putting that out with the statewide score. So 41-6 today. But while I will pat Coach Tim Carter and the back on company, because they did what we talked about earlier, being able to bounce back from a loss in week 1 and get a win in week 2. I think Faith Academy, they have some things that they can be really proud of as they move forward.
Yeah, no question. If you're just tuning in, guys, again, games that we've already seen, but we will go back to go back off the top in just a moment. Theodore beats Spanish Fort 28-17. McGill beats Murphy in a blowout fashion in the battle for the Cannon, 50-0 in that one. Saraland stomps Blunt 46-0, and Baldwin County falls to St. Paul's. St. Paul's picks up their second win of the season, 2 in a row for Ham Barnett, 48-17, the Saints in that game. All of those, the 6A Region 1 games tonight. Baker opens up 7A Region 1 play with a big win in Irvington over Alma Bryant, 42-14. MGM beats Gulf Shores on the road, 22-19. Faith Academy falls to Fairhope as they get a big victory. The Pirates do in non-region play. We didn't have a final there, but we did know the score was pretty big.
41-6.
We did have a final there, 41-6.
Yeah,
we did get that one. Okay. All right, guys, let's go back to region play in 5A Region 1 as UMS Wright on the road at LaFleur. They're going to get a big victory tonight. Sam Williams, first of his career there as the head coach of the Bulldogs. And, have you seen this Bulldogs program throw the ball more in the time you've covered the team versus what you've seen in this highlight alone?
No, from the time I've been here in Mobile, which is a couple of football seasons now, this is the third. This might be the most passes I've seen since then. And we obviously covered some games with the AHSAA, so I saw them a lot in the playoffs over the past few years with Coach Terry Curtis. But well, we knew that Sam Williams was going to be a little bit different.
He sure is that.
He said so coming out of it. He said this team will look different if you just break down some of his game tape. I was talking with Coach Ham Barnett of St. Paul's. He said you break down the Brandon High School game tape where he came from just outside of Jackson, Mississippi, and he's like, hey, this team will air it out. And so Coach Williams, putting a staple on what they're able to do going into this year.
Yeah, we'll run it back with the highlights here just to actually get some names out here, guys. And like I mentioned, this is 5A Region 1 play. As we know, Sam Williams and the Bulldogs put up a great fight. They're in the Battle of Old Shell Road last week. St. Paul's came out on the winning end of that one. But early on, we're going to have the guy, as we know, has been the quarterback Max Fowler for the Bulldogs, going to connect here with, hold on, I'm looking for my script, Richard Scott. And wow, he let's go, let's run that tape back for a second, because he just absolutely bulldozes this guy.
Oh, yeah. Boom. That's the truck stick right there.
I'm just telling you now. That should be a poster. Anyways, all right, so, up the field they go. Later on the drive to the red zone, it's going to be Fowler connecting with his receiver here and in for the touchdown. And it's 43-14 is the final as UMS gets the win over LaFleur. A really good bounce-back win, G. Obviously, region plays where it matters most. Mm-hmm. And so if you're Sam Williams and company, you're feeling pretty good about life.
You have to be. You have to be. Losing last week in the fashion that they did, obviously with a 5-star and Tank Jones just going into the end zone. And Coach Sam Williams actually talked to our photographer, Mason Terrell, last week, and he said, hey, we played hard. We battled hard, and they made one more play. And so for Coach to be able to get his guys after losing to their arch rivals, get them back up this week, get them back on task in the way that their offense executed today, as you just saw there on the big truck stick, you could just tell that they wanted to let some anger out. And they did so today, a big win. And congratulations to Sam Williams, first win as a head coach of an Alabama team.
Yes.
Obviously, tremendous success there in Mississippi, and now he gets one in the heart of Dixie.
Yes, no question about that. Guys, I'm not sure how long the drive is from Orange Beach to Citronelle, but it's a good minute. And listen, that's how far the Micros had to go for this non-region game, G. And came out successful in this one. A nail-biter, it looks like, too.
Yeah, it was. And some early scoring here in this one for Citronelle. Got an early touchdown on the board for Coach Jason Round Company. And this is a nice play here for Javarius Coleman. And it picks up a nice gain as Citronelle had an early 7-0 lead. However, Orange Beach does come back. This is a direct snap here as Turner Tillman would find the end zone. There's a couple of botched plays and a couple of missteps here for Citronelle, but Turner Tillman would get in the end zone for Orange Beach. And Tillman, you might remember last year, played at St. Luke's, now over there at Orange Beach, and doing some good things there for Coach Wade Waldrop as the Makos win it 16-7 on the road. And this has got to spell some really good things to come, I would think. If you remember last year, Simone, Orange Beach thought they were in the playoffs.
They did.
They thought they were in the playoffs. And
that was dramatic.
And there was a 3-way tie
And it was one of the more complicated three-way ties,
Yes,
and
for
with
sure.
the tiebreakers, we went several tiebreakers deep into that one to figure out who it was that was actually going to be in the playoffs.
Yep, and there was 3 teams that could take up the final 2 spots, and
Yep.
one team was going to be left out. And Orange Beach, after thinking a couple weeks before they had locked it up,
Yep.
the tiebreakers kind of threw a wrench in there, and they were left out. And I feel like the entire season, the time that we talked to Coach Wade Waldrop, our friend Nick Johnson went down there and talked to Waldrop during spring training, and he said, that has motivated us.
Yep.
That has fueled us.
Yep.
And it shows up in games like this. When
does.
you can go on the road, and like you said,
On
go
the
a very,
road, for
very
sure.
long way.
It's almost a couple hours there.
Go a very long way on the road and pick up that kind of win.
Yep.
It's really huge for the Makos.
Yep, it really is. All right, let's keep things moving here on fifth quarter extra, guys. Simone Gerhard staying with you late into the night. Let's roll over to BC Reign. The Red Raiders up against 7A Foley, and these might be some of the best highlights that we've gotten this evening, guys. Early on, we're going to have some special team situations here, and the things are really, really going to get rolling. But as we know, special teams can always make or break you a little bit, and for Foley, this is going to put them in great field position to end up with a 3-0 start to the game. A little bit of field goal action. Don't want to cut that out. It did not make the highlights on fifth quarter because we got to kind of just trim some things up. But a big boot here for Foley to start the game 3-0. But then here's where things really, really ramp up. Take a look at this. We're going to get going in the air. And, well, first we're going to get going defensively. I guess I didn't have that one either. So, never mind, guys. I lied. Red Raiders defense making it happen. But in a moment, I promise you, we've got some great offense coming. No question about that. Here we go. Let's get to the offense. All right, guys, check it out. This is one our play of the week. You can vote for this one here on WKRG.com. Check this out. Makai Holmes going to send a dart into the end zone, a jump ball, and Jackson Dixon comes down with a little head top action there, G. Wow, what a play there by Dixon. What an effort. Going to replay this one. Again, you can vote for this one. It's our play of the week number 1 there. Brought to you by 22nd State Bank. What a snag. No question about that, as Foley will take a 10-0 lead at that point.
Yep, there's a certain player that wears number 4. I don't know if you could watch that back. There's a certain player that wears number 4. He will be playing in the biggest game in college football tomorrow. His name is Jeremiah Smith. Shares the cover of EA Sports College Football 26 with Saraland native Ryan Williams. That catch looked a lot like a Jeremiah Smith catch, and he wears number 4 as well.
Yep.
And so good play there by Dixon, as you mentioned, one of the Player of the Week nominees.
Yeah, and then on the other end, guys, check this out, because the Red Raiders, they were not backing down. Doesn't matter that 7-8 point. Doesn't matter, that they're making big plays, because they come right back at them. Check this out. Short pass goes to Julius Rogers. Going to shrug off not 1, not 2, but 3 defenders. Fights his way into the end zone. A couple of just great highlight reel. This entire one brought to you by our new news reporter, Clancy. She was killing it up there.
Clancy Callahan.
I'm always impressed when we have our new news reporters that come in and we're like, all right, we'll see where you're at. We always kind of grade you on a scale, see what it's going to look like. And man, she killed it. She really did. And so there's BC Reign getting on the board. And then the ensuing kickoff. Man, they just go right back to it. Dixon, this time, doing a little special teams, doing a little bit of everything. He's going to run the ensuing kickoff back. So another touchdown there. However, it is BC Reign that wins this game, Gerhard, 27-23. And that's a great win. I mean, I know that Foley has not been, near the top of 7A Region 1, but for BC Reign to be a 7A team, at home, man, I think that's a really big win for that crew.
Huge for Coach Yelding and company. And, and you think about it, I think a lot of people last week when BC Reign knocked off Hillcrest Evergreen, you can make the argument, say, okay, well, that's got to win over a 3A team.
Yep.
But then to swing the pendulum the other way and go get a win over this Foley team in the way that they did and making the plays that they did. I mean, even after that play that Dixon had, which was phenomenal, for BC Reign to come back in this one is really, really special here. Now, 2-0. Keep in mind, BC Reign 2 years ago, remember Coach Yelding had his son as the quarterback, Amari Yelding.
Oh, yeah.
He ended up going to play some college football.
They lost a ton of talent last year.
Yeah, they did. They went from 8 wins 2 years ago to 3 wins last year. And the question was, how would they bounce back? Well, they won 3 games last year. They've already won 2 this year. They're 2-0 going into the year.
There you go.
Huge win for the Raiders.
We have plenty more highlights to come on fifth quarter extra, guys. Look at some scores here as Viger gets a big win on the road, Tuscaloosa County, 61-14. Good stuff there for the Wolfpack, man, laying it on thick.
The new
under Coach Jackson. Coach Jack getting it done there with his alma mater.
Yeah, Renardo Jackson. And keep in mind, Viger now is the new #1 team, because you remember last week.
I actually did not know that until you said that on the air earlier.
Oh, really?
During fifth quarter.
Yeah, they made the lead because Moody lost. Moody lost to Gainesville out of Georgia, and so they drop in the polls. And
I forgot that what's his name played Josh. That's good old Gaines. Playing his old boss there.
Yep.
Drama.
That's right.
Drama for your mama.
That's right. And that game wasn't even really close, and the pollsters dropped Moody down, bump Viger up. So Viger, they weren't reading their press clipping as the new #1 team. They went over to Tuscaloosa County and took care of business.
7A school, 7A school there. Jackson goes on the road at Demopolis. E.J. Crowell back in the mix for the Aggies, and they win 41-0. So feeling good about life there. And obviously, I think we know what Saraland is capable of after they, hung 46 on Blunt today. So if you're Jackson, you're feeling pretty good, even despite the week 1 loss there. T.R. Miller gets a close win over Strawn, 20-13. So that's a tight victory there for the Tigers. And then we had a couple Thursday games in Robertsdale. Beats Alberta 14-0. Shout out Vashon there for the Golden Bears. And Washington County upset Millry last night, 34-21.
Yeah,
so
we were handing out congratulations earlier to Sam Williams. Big congratulations goes out to Justin Jones. Now 2-0 at Robertsdale, looking to turn things around. Got a big win last week and a big win over their county foes this past week.
Yep, no doubt, guys. To keep things rolling here, is we're going to head over to the brand new digs for the Williamson Lions, G. And, man, nothing like opening your brand new stadium with a really, really great win. So check this out. Early on, Wayne County, you know what their mascot is?
Yeah, I do.
The War Eagles.
The War Eagles, baby.
The War Eagles. First of all, this school is in Mississippi. I just want to let that be known. So this is the Fighting War Eagles, and they're fighting their way through this punt, getting blocked. Dante Bush says, no, sir. Destroys the punter on that play, and that would lead to Todrick Withers up the gut as the Lions then going to go for 2. Alvin Dinkins hits John Austin, makes it 14-0. And Antonio Coleman is saying, all right, guys, welcome to our new stadium. We're not actually going to allow any scoring in this game because here they are, a little bit of positive plays for the War Eagles, but then a little bit of a strip. And how about Dante Bush says, I'll take that. All the way back to the hizzy. To the hizzy.
I'll tell you what, this Williamson defense, last year they were really, really good.
Yeah.
And this year they look to be really, really good again. And we're seeing plays, and keep in mind, one of their main guys is Ellis McGaskin, who's committed to play at Notre Dame. He's one of the best players for the class of 2027. And this is a lethal football team.
Yep.
Last year, Antonio Coleman orchestrated one of the biggest turnarounds in the entire state, from 3 wins to 10 wins. And it looks like they're right on pace to do it again.
Yep, no doubt. 42-0. The Lions get the victory in their first win, or first game, I should say. They're at their brand new stadium. So really, really good stuff there for Antonio Coleman's crew. Let's head over back across the bay as the Daphne Trojans welcomed in Pine Forest out of Florida.
This is a really good Pine Forest football team, and Daphne looks really, really strong. It's Christian Seeger, hits Isaac Johnson with a touchdown there for the Daphne Trojans, and then in the darkness of night, we gotta get our girl Hannah turn her iris up a little bit there.
I know. I was thinking that. Listen, man, we're great on a scale for all of our new folks.
Love you,
we love our folks. We love them. We love them.
Yeah. So Christian Seeger got a big touchdown there, and then Seeger dropped another dime to Carson Leverett. In for the touchdown early, 2-touchdown lead there for Daphne. Daphne got a big win last week against McGill-Tulane, 29-28. So you were wondering how they would respond going into this week, and they did not, and Kenny King's group did not take their eyes off the prize. They're now 2-0. Got a big win over the Yellow Jackets last week. Got a big win this week over Pine Forest High School out of the state of Florida. So I think that they're looking really solid as they open up region play next week.
Yep, no question about that. Good stuff. And who do they open up against? Do we know who?
I will get that.
Look that up. I'm gonna roll things over to Marbury. Got to give a shout out to our director of sales, Trish Thornhill, getting it done here on the highlights. And gotta love the fireworks there for the good old Admirals opening things up and some scoring. And how about the Gulf Shores transfer? Davis Barnett airing it out here early on, G, to hit Monroe Parton over the middle. Nobody's going to catch him, and into the end zone he goes for the touchdown. Later, Barnett again. Cade Lyons here on the receiving end of this one. A little bit of a nifty move is what I hear on the highlights there, and makes it another touchdown there for Bayside. 41-19 was the final as they absolutely rolled Marbury at home. Bayside gets a big dub at home.
Is Miss Thornhill, is she available on Friday nights to help shoot some football?
I don't know, but you know what? I'm signing her up. Listen, her iris is up. That's me.
We love you,
Hannah, we love you. Trish, shout out to Trish getting it done for us there, doing all things, not only in sales, but also on the gridiron for us. So good stuff.
And to answer your previous question, it is MGM and Daphne
I was hoping you were gonna say Bryant. Like I should probably, probably should have known that. So, all right. So it's MGM and Daphne.
MGM Daphne. That game is in Daphne.
Of course, we know Zach Golson, former Daphne assistant coach there on the offensive side. So
lots of great storylines going into that one.
Yeah, there often is. There often is for sure. All right, let's head over to Cottage Hill at Satsuma. G.
Cottage Hill Satsuma, I'll tell you what, this Cottage Hill football team, led by Coach Carvel Jones, they have been rolling here over the last couple of years, and they have a lot of star players on this team. I joked on air. They have a couple of Toodles. They had a Caleb Metzer, but they have a couple players that have really balled out over the last couple of weeks here, and this is one of them. We'll get you his name. This is Aaron Ward going into the end zone off the toss into the end zone for the touchdown Warriors. The mascot celebrating, and then watch the defense here as Toodle gets the strip, and this is James Davis with the fumble recovery and the scoop and score for the touchdown. Cottage Hill Christian, they are rolling right now. Couple of big wins here, and another big one over the air. We saw Caleb Metzner last week. Another big play here this week as well as Metzner. You got Metzner was a term that was
more
adopted.
Often. Yep.
Yeah, that got started last week, and Metzner does it again. And I'll tell you what, this team last year, this Cottage Hill Christian team, I like what Carvel Jones is doing with them. They're, of course, uber talented on the top end, but you're seeing a lot of the players that have really helped mold this team over the last couple of years really coming to fruition as well. And they're now 2-0 and looking really good.
Rosemary Williams wants to revisit some Citronelle highlights, so we're going to pull those back up, G. I want to appreciate everyone tuning in and hanging with us here on Facebook as we go through the evening here on Fifth Quarter Extra. Citronelle at home today and did drop one to Orange Beach. Obviously, I think there's a lot of excitement right now for what Jason Rowell has already been doing there as Citronelle as head coach. But I think on the other end, too, Orange Beach is a fired-up crew. They want to go on the road 2.5 hours or, the 7 hours it takes to go from Orange Beach to Citronelle and get the win. So Wade Waldrop and company does go on the road, get a 16-7 victory for the Makos there over the Citronelle Wildcats. So check out those highlights there for you, Miss Rosemary Williams. Guys, meanwhile, let's head over to St. Luke's. That's where the Wildcats welcomed in Marengo. And this is a tight battle here, but the Panthers ultimately going to get it done. And shout out to our news reporter Kate, I think, was out here in St. Luke's for us. So Kate getting it done. And check out this little highlight. I like this one now.
Nice.
All right. Nice. Here's Talon Safran. Talon Safran, direct snap. Did she write that, or did Patrick write that?
I think Patrick might have wrote that.
Yeah.
I mean, just judging by the context.
Saying direct snap.
Yeah.
Talon Safran into the end zone. Touchdown there. Good stuff for St. Luke's to open up the scoring. However, it would be Marengo getting it done down the stretch as they take the victory there 16-15. So, guys, let's recap some of the scores that we had throughout the evening. Our game of the week, G, we'll kick things back off over there at the Hill and Spanish Fort.
6A Region 1 this battle last year, an overtime game. Another really, really tough one here between these two teams. And Coach Steve Maskin Company looking to get back off the turf. Of course, last week lost to Baker. Came back this week really strong. Got a chance to catch up with Spanish Fort head coach Chase Smith before this one. He said, hey, look, we got a big win last week over Fairhope, but it doesn't matter because whenever you get into region play, it's going to come down to a handful of plays that really make this thing go. They make the plays early on here as they get a pick six in a touchdown here on the defensive side as the Toros grab the early lead in this one. Christian Overton's pass intercepted there by Dwayne Harris, who takes it into the end zone for the touchdown. This is J.J. Bush looking to follow in the same footsteps as one guy, C.J. Mosley.
He's putting that on him right now.
I'm just saying that they're both linebackers, both from Theodore. Bobby Pruitt might be another one that you might remember. Went to Miami a couple of years ago, and so they're churning out great offensive players. And Bush's touchdown ties the game. This is the late play in the first quarter. Juju Bonner, our friend. I got to tell a funny story about Juju. Every time I go to Spanish Fort, Juju Bonner will ask about one person. And that is Simone Eli. Every single time I'm down there, he's like, hey, where's Simone?
You know what? I love that. I love him for that. I really do. He's got great energy. He's always so smiley.
Yeah.
And so that's precious. I love that.
Yeah.
Sorry that people, some people ask about you. Actually, a lot of people ask about you. Mostly women at Dillard's. They're always like, hey, where's that guy that you're always with? Where's that young man who helps with sports?
So if you don't find me, you'll know I'm in Dillard's. I'm just mosing around.
The ladies over at Belk, they always like, where's Gerhard?
I'm just hanging out.
Where's that young man who helps with sports? Probably $1 for every time that I've heard. Where's the young man who helps with sports? It actually makes my life. I really love it.
Honestly, the young man part makes me feel good. Thank you. Thank you for that.
No question. Guys, a huge one. I don't think we can overstate how big of a win this is for Theodore.
Yes.
I don't think we can overstate how big of a win this is for Theodore.
Absolutely. This is monster for Coach Steve Mask and company. I got a chance to talk to him very, very briefly right before the game started.
How was he feeling?
And he was all smiles. He looked good, saying, "Hey, our team has really bounced back after last week. We know that we're going to put that one to bed.
Yep.
Baker's a really good football team, and we're just going to say, hey, we're going to go back to the drawing board and do us.
Yep.
Because we know we were this close to the playoffs last year. And I feel like they think they were talented enough to not only go to the playoffs but make some noise last year.
Yep.
They were just out by one game. One of the few teams that were out by one game.
That's such a tough region.
I know.
Such a tough
it really
region.
is. I mean, there's a 9-team region, and really, if you're counting playoff teams as far as quality goes,
Yep.
that region probably goes 6 deep as far as quality football teams that can make the playoffs.
Yeah.
That would either win a region championship in
It's
another
true.
region or at least vie for one of the top 4 spots.
I mean, if you think about what the 6A teams would do in 7A down here, and that's not disrespect to 7A, but we know that teams in 7A have not done a whole lot in the playoffs outside of MGM and Baker getting a couple of wins the last 2 years. Prior to that, I think it had been a hot minute.
Yes.
And so, but 6A every single year, I mean, these are the best in the state.
Yeah, no doubt. And to me, this is one of those 1 week coaches always say this, and I think people who are just football fans, they roll their eyes when they hear this statement, but it's a 1 game at a time region.
It has to be.
It really, really is. We saw a wrinkle thrown in the wrench last year.
Yep.
As McGill-Tulane lost a big game late in the season, and they ended up, playing well towards the end. But I think everybody thinks this is Saraland up top, and then kind of figure everybody else out. I think it's wide open this year from the region champion all the way to the 14. And even all the way down to the 6th team who could be a region champion elsewhere.
Yep, guys, looking at some scores around the state here, around the area, I should say, as Wayne County, Williamson beats Wayne County 42-0. St. Paul's beats Baldwin County 48-17. Baker beats Alma Bryant 42-14. MGM gutsy win over Gulf Shores on the road, 22-19 in that one. McGill absolutely destroys Murphy, 50-0 in the battle for the Cannon, the 11th straight year that the Cannon is going to be orange at the Loop. It was tonight. Saraland shuts out Blunt, 46-0. Orange Beach beats Citronelle. That was 17-6 in that. Hit 16-7 in that game. BC Rain beats Foley, 27-23. Marengo beats St. Luke, 16-15. Fairhope, we had a final, 41 to not as much as 41. Yep, they beat Faith Academy in that game. Daphne beats Pine Forest out of Florida, 32-12. UMS Wright gets their first win under the Sam Williams era, 43-14 in that game. Cottage Hill beats Satsuma by a boatload, 48-10. A big win for Cottage Hill, but they've got a lot of ballers too.
They do.
Viger beats Tuscaloosa County. What was the final in that game?
61-16, I believe.
Yeah, I know.
They just crushed them.
Yep,
yes,
they really did.
61-14, yeah.
Yep, they really did. Jackson beats Demopolis 41-0. T.R. Miller, gutsy win over Strawn 20-13. Robertsdale beat Alberta 14-0 on Thursday. And Leroy beats Clark County handedly, 41-12.
That's surprising as well. Not that they won. I mean, Leroy's the number 2 team in the state, but the fact that how they won and how they got that big win.
Yeah, that's strong.
There's such good football over there in that
Clark
area.
County, yeah, no
Jackson, Leroy, Clark County. They've all won state championships here recently, but all those rivalries run really deep, and it's really fun football.
Yeah, it really does. McIntosh beats Bayshore Christian 47-0. Bayside beats Marbury 41-19. Flomaton beats Chickasaw 48-14. WS Neal shuts out XL 51-0. Thomasville gets the win over Sweetwater. It's a big game, 20-17. And Washington County beat Milry on Thursday, 34-21. Guys, you're tuning in. 5th quarter extra right now. Simone, Eli, Gerhard, Mathangani joining you. Appreciate all the folks on Facebook and on our CTV app. WKRG Plus app. It's free to download. Be sure to download that. You can watch all of our shows there from our digital studio every single day, including Southeast Sports Plus. How about a little college football talk for a second? Auburn Tigers open things up with a big win in Waco.
Got a huge win. Well, speaking of college, I got one shout out. We got a celebrity in the watching it here. The biggest Georgia fan ever, Mr. Shadrick Tootle. Senior.
Oh, our guy, Toodle Boy in the busy.
I had to shout him out. Georgia's got a big one against Marshall.
He's a Georgia fan because that's of course where his son is committed.
Of course, yes. Biggest Georgia fan. But I saw that video. Had to show him some love. But
yes.
No, you're right. Georgia
Toodle Boy Sports. Check him out. Toodle Boy Sports.
Yeah, check him out. He's our guy. He's amazing. But no, you're right. Georgia will play Marshall tomorrow, but Auburn got a huge win today on the road in Waco against a really good Baylor team. And we talked about this game a lot on Southeast Sports Plus, and we talked to people in Waco from the Next Star Nation, and we also got a chance to hear from head coach Hugh Freeze last week about this matchup. There were so many questions going into this. You're replacing your starting quarterback. Peyton Thorne is out. Jackson Arnold is in. There's some Mobile ties as well because you have Perry Thompson who's coming into his sophomore season. You had Cam Coleman who played at
a lot of high school talent.
A lot of high school talent from this area or from the southern part of Alabama, really looking to take that next step with Coach Hugh Freeze and to put up 38 points and a big win on the road at Waco against the Dave Aranda defense. Coach Dave Aranda, that's what he's known for. That's why he's a head coach, because what he did as a D coordinator. To put up 38 points is really, really special there for the offense, and it's maybe a sign of good things to come there for the Auburn Tigers.
It definitely could be. I mean, that's certainly listen, you can't win them all if you don't win the first one.
That's true. That's true.
Is that strong? I want to pull up what we looked at just a minute ago. This right here, 1 minute, guys, as that is not the shot that we want to take. Stand by. We're going to take a look at some painting of the cannon. As we know, Murphy and McGill, a big game every single year. When it comes to, I guess, the ramifications of, hey, all right, the battle for the cannon, 11 straight years it's gone to McGill, but Murphy's still out here trying to battle for this rivalry game. Yeah, Coach Sherman Williams in his first season, I should say, and looking to really build this program up. But David Faulkner, I fixed it now, by the way. Nice. Sorry about that, friends. It has he has got this program rolling, and this is a tradition. Honestly, I just love a tradition unlike any other. Yeah, it really is. I mean, that's dramatic. Nowhere else do you get to see the cannon get painted, and I know they want everybody's looking out for safety, and it's good to see the police there and really, kind of blocking off that area because it is a really heavily, congested area. It can be at night, so you want to keep those kids safe, but let them have fun as well. Celebrate a big rivalry game and paint that cannon orange. I know we have a few people in our midst that really help out with this, and and I love it. I love watching it. I love seeing it and just seeing traditions. What's he doing? Just chilling on the ground? Is he in trouble? As long as it's good, clean. I don't know. I hope not. I really don't. And obviously, I'm watching this with not a lot of context. I just hope. Well, the context is that McGill won and the cannon's orange. Correct, why is this kid sitting on the ground next to a cop? I don't know, but hope. That part, and I don't. And we don't know what that's about. We're just gonna bring us back up. Hopefully, kids have trouble. I just hope. Oh wait! Hold on. There was a happy ending to this. Yes, okay, good. We're getting this in real time. We didn't get a script on this one, guys. Okay, here we go. Right before I cut out of this, right before I cut out from this, hold on. There's a happy ending. It appears. Stand by. This is from Dan Kettinger a little bit ago. It looks like they're gonna give him a warning. Maybe his classmates are wondering what is this. And he looks like yes, young man. Okay, so this is good because to me, you have high school rivalries, and if you're lucky enough to go, look at that. That is dedication right there. Those parents are going to be taking a good minute. Oh, yeah. Was that planned, or did we have that with the cops rolling in there? No, I think that he was just. Dan was just there. Right place, right time. Right place, right time. Had the camera up. Man, listen. Once again, I haven't listened to the police scanner here at work, so I don't know if anybody is in real trouble. I don't know if anybody is in real trouble. I just hope not. It appears not. Yes. It looks like this was almost like a stunt. Yes. Yes. It's going to be okay, guys. It's going to be okay. And if nothing else, hopefully the cops are just there to help protect those kids, make sure they got back safely to their car. And I'll pass by that cannon tomorrow and see it's orange. It's the last couple of years. That's what I've done. On Saturday morning, I'll wake up and I'll go see it. It's not too far away from where I live, and so I'm like, this celebration. He's back. Like, guys, I survived. I survived the quick the threat. Reminds me a little old school, like Frank the Tank. Like, he's back, baby. He's back and going. That is so funny. That is so funny. All right, guys. So as we know, a really, really great week 2 of the high school football season. Several teams jumping into region play. Gerhard, several teams opening the season for the first time. And as we get into week 3, we know everyone's going to rip the Band-Aid off, and it's going to really, really matter next week. Region play for everybody next week. I know 6A Region 1 took their toes in a dip in.
7A Region 1, a couple teams play, but next week everybody's a region play.
Yep.
And it's like that for
it's real.
Yeah, it's like that for the next few weeks. And people obviously, people were like, hey, these non-region games, they don't matter. They kind of do, though, because towards the end of the season, let's just say BC Rain gets into a tiebreaker situation. Well, they got a big win over Foley.
Yep.
I mean, that's going to matter as it relates to their playoff standing. So those non-region games, yes, they do matter towards the end of the season to help break ties. Everything seeding-wise is all settled first with your region record. And to be able to get off to a good start is very, very imperative for a lot of teams.
Yep, some games that we're looking forward to next week. Alberta will be at Williamson in 5A Region 1 play. That'll be at Williamson's new stadium.
Yep.
Bryant travels to Fairhope in 7A. Orange Beach hosts Bayside. UMS hosts BC Rain. Looking forward to that game because BC Rain's feeling good about life right now, and they should. Blunt is going to be at Lattigat to play Murphy High School. Scrolling on down, Baker is going to return home to host Davidson. Jackson is home against Escambia County. Excel at Flomaton. Citronelle will welcome in Faith Academy. So a lot of good games. Gulf Shores is at Saraland, man. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, 6A Region 1, they stay having games that are going to be game of the week.
Big time. And almost you can go to almost any matchup, any week in this region and find a game that's noteworthy.
Yep. MGM at Daphne, like I mentioned earlier. Leroy goes to McIntosh. Viger goes back home. They'll welcome in LaFleur in 5A Region 1 play. Theodore hosts McGill-Tulane. That'll be a good game. I mean, McGill's playing well, too. I mean, Blaine Bray is lighting it up. So looking forward to seeing a lot of points on the board there. Satsuma welcomes in Mobile Christian. Foley is going to host Robertsdale in 7A. Milry's at home against Sweetwater. Thomasville at Southside Selma. T.R. Miller at Monroe County. And St. Michael is back home to play W.S. Neal.
Yeah, that's some really good matchups coming up next week. I did want to pass along a few notable scores from around the state that really
hit me,
piqued my interest here. Grayson, Georgia, and Thompson. These are two teams that are in the top 25 in the country. Grayson is number 6 in the nation, playing Thompson. 24-23 Grayson. That game went to overtime. So Thompson lost today, but to the number 6 team in the country. I think Thompson last check was like number 19, so that's really interesting. How about Benjamin Russell? Really put a hammer on Central Clay County, 40-7.
Wow,
40-7.
Is that Kirk Johnson? Kirk Johnson's the new coach of Ben Russell, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's the guy that was over at Montgomery Academy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Montgomery Catholic.
Yeah, and Cedarius Morgan is the guy that preseason. I don't know if you saw it in AL.com. I picked Cedarius Morgan to win Mr. Football. I haven't seen a stat line, but I wonder how he did today. I don't think I saw your final ballot that you sent in. I'll go check.
Did I pick EJ? I might have picked EJ. Or Landon.
Yeah.
EJ or Landon. It's probably who I would have.
And honestly, I mean, either one of those guys could win it. So those scores really stuck out to me. But Vestavia Hill's also beating Auburn 42-14. I know Auburn's a little bit down this year, but 42-14 for Coach Robert Evans, who is one of the coaches for the All-Star team, the North-South All-Star game.
And also the coach that's gone viral for his.
yeah. Got a bunch of pie caps playing against the guys.
I don't know what that was, but that was like hilarious. That guy. Any other statewide scores that we would care about?
Opelika and Callaway, Georgia. That game also went to overtime, just like the Thompson game, 35-34 in that matchup there. Central Phoenix City played the First Academy out of Orlando, Florida. Central Phoenix City got a 38-35 win, so that's a big win for Coach Nix and company. And then just scrolling down here on the statewide website, Parker got a big win over Mountain Brook, 27-11. That game was at Mountain Brook.
Parker beat Brown Brook. Yeah.
Yep. Parker got that win. Those are two teams that are looking to have some strong seasons this year. Anniston over Beauregard. Cherokee County lost last week. Keep in mind, in Class 4A, all 18 first-place votes went to one of two teams, and they're both in 4A Region 1. Jackson got 10 first-place votes, and St. Michael got 8 first-place votes.
So is St. Michael up to 2?
They're number 2, yes,
Good.
because Cherokee County lost last week to Piedmont.
Yeah.
And so they dropped down, I think, to either number 3 or 4 or 5.
There you go.
That was the state championship game last year. We said this. We were unapologetic.
No, the state championship game was definitely in the semifinal.
We said that. The state semifinal in Class 4A, Jackson was 1, St. Michael was 2, and now the polls reflect that.
Yep.
But Cherokee County did get a big win today, so we'll see how they do in the 4A North. And so, those are the ones that stick out to me out of the out of the statewide scores. Oh, Fife and Pisgah. I thought this would be a closer game. I actually picked Pisgah to win. Fife 60-28.
Ooh.
My picks this week
I picked Fife.
are not going to be looking.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see what Ben Thomas says about our picks. He'll always send the. I think what was I in third last week?
I think so. I think you and I both went 15-4 last week, and this week I will lose way more than 4 games.
Yeah. All right, guys. It's been another great week of fifth quarter extra. Of course, fifth quarter as well for Gerhard. Everybody here at News 5. I'm Simone Eli. And we will see you next Friday for week 3 of the high school football season. Everybody jumping into region play. And we will we'll see you kick things off in a good way, in a big way. And as we roll right along into the high school season. And, of course, college football season at week 1 officially kicks off tomorrow. We'll have your full recap on Southeast Sports Plus from 2 to 4 on